What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing some more chassis bracing on the Miata. Courtesy of Moss, we have a rear strut tower brace as well as a front subframe brace for the Miata. I'll be walking you guys through the install, showing you what it looks like, doing some driving, seeing if we notice any sort of difference. And this is a great time if you're interested in doing something like this or any other performance upgrades for your Miata, because right now Moss is doing a performance sale. You can take up to 25% off from now until October 29th, so through the end of the month. There's all sorts of great stuff on there right now, from brakes to clutches to bushings, shifter rebuilds, suspension, these chassis braces, as well as frame rail reinforcements, and even some under the hood dress up items. So if you're interested in any of this, make sure to go check it out at mossmiata.com. But for now, let's go ahead and start this install. So I'm going to start with the rear strut tower brace. So obviously, first thing we're going to need to do is pop the trunk. Alright, next up, if you have an NB, you might have to modify some of your trim panels in the trunk here once you get this bar in. It should be pretty self-explanatory once you get the bar in and just see what's making contact. But the first thing I'm going to need to do is just remove the panel that covers the fuel filler hose. If your car has the carpeted sides, you're going to need to go ahead and pull those out. Since I'm doing this on my NA, there's really not much in here. This is a pretty easy and straightforward install. All you're doing is placing the bar on top of the shock towers where the struts come up through. So I'm going to remove this panel that covers the fuel filler hose, and then we're going to pop the nuts off of the shocks and go from there. Alright, now with all the trim out of the way and the nuts off of both the struts, we're going to actually disassemble the brackets from the strut bar, install those on the car first, and then install the bar back onto the brackets. So when installing these brackets on the car, we want to make sure this is offset towards the rear of the car. So basically this is going to be towards the front of the car, and this back is going to be towards the rear. So basically we're just dropping these brackets over the studs that come up through the body from our shock, and then we're going to start the nuts back on it. And just do these hand tight, don't fully tighten these up now because there is some adjustment in these brackets. So once we get the bar on and everything fits up, that's when we'll tighten everything down. Alright, so once you get the bar reassembled back onto the brackets on the car, first we're going to tighten up the brackets that go on the struts, and then we'll tighten the large bolt that goes through the bar and the brackets. And my nuts on my struts are actually 12mm. I have Megan Racing coilovers, so this might vary for you depending on what suspension you have. But on the Cobalt bar, the large bolt that goes through, that is a 10mm Allen, and then the nut on the other side is going to be a 19mm. Alright, I just finished trimming the fuel filler panel, and honestly I thought I screwed it up, but it actually ended up turning out fairly clean. My recommendation for this would be start at the top corner and actually cut down from there. It's mostly this top corner area that you're going to need to trim, and it's pretty deep actually. I think I went probably about 2 inches. This is just one of those trial and error things. You're going to have to cut a little bit, put it up there, fit it, and then see what else needs to be trimmed and go from there. So I'm going to put a little paint on this now where I screwed it up and finish this thing up. So this front brace is going to be very similar to what comes on the NB and I believe some NA 1.8s, but since my car is 1.6, there's no brace down there. This is just going to go at the very rear of the front subframe. It's going to run right underneath the transmission and the exhaust. You'll see there's 2 bolts that go up into the stock subframe. We need to pull those out. This is going to go right there, and then we'll put the bolts back in. To finish up this bracing part of the video, I've been driving the car for a few days now that I got the wheels and tires on, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't notice a huge difference with the strut brace and the lower brace on, but this didn't really surprise me too much because in the past when I put strut braces on, you really don't feel much of a difference, at least in my experience. But that's not to say that it's not doing anything, but just don't expect to bolt one of these on and feel a huge difference. Especially if you have other mods like the roll bar, frame rail reinforcements, and coilovers. Things like that are gonna make the biggest difference. But for the price of this brace and the way it looks, I think it is definitely worth it. I love the polished finish on it. It looks really nice in the trunk, and the install is super easy. And as far as that lower brace, that's just a nice little upgrade for any 1.6 guys like me who don't have that OEM brace there. But big thank you to Moss for sending these pieces out for this video. I really love the way that rear strut brace looks in the trunk. If you guys want to check any of these out for yourself, or you're in need of any other performance upgrades, mossmiata.com, the performance sale going on now until the 29th. But that is going to do it for this one. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you in the next one.